July 7th, 1977. 7 o'clock that morning. For years I wondered if those numbers meant anything at all. Now I know it was never about the day I was born. It was about the one who was already writing my story before my first breath. I was only a child, a box of matches, a bottle of alcohol, one careless moment, then fire. The faces around me filled with fear. Doctors spoke about scars that would never leave. My mother prayed, my grandfather fought for me. My father hadn't even made it home, but you already knew. Everyone else looked at what the fire had taken away, but you were already seeing the man I would become. It was already written long before I understood, long before I ever learned to say thank you. Every rescue, every silence, every tear, every step, nothing in my life was an accident. You have been writing every page. Years went by and the fire found a different place. It no longer burned my skin, it burned my soul. The deepest scars were the ones no one could see. Then one day you stood me before a mirror, and slowly you began breaking me piece by piece. I watched parts of myself fall to the ground, certain nothing would remain. But when the dust settled, I looked again and I wept, because there was still so much beauty standing. That's when I realized you were never destroying who I was. You were removing everything that hid who you created me to be. It was already written before the fire, before the pain, before my failures, before my questions, before I ever knew your name. You were already writing grace, already writing mercy, already writing redemption, long before I ever knew I needed you. Now when I look back, I don't just see a healed face, I see an entire life held together by your hands. Miracles I never noticed, mercy I never thanked you for, a father who never stopped coming after me. Jesus, I spent so many years asking you to change my life, only to discover my whole life had already been a miracle. Now I don't need all the answers, I only want to worship you, because before I ever learned to thank you, you had already given your life for me. It was already written, the fire couldn't change what you had imagined. My failures couldn't erase what the cross restored from my very first breath. Until this very moment, you have never stopped writing my story. Now I finally understand. The greatest miracle was never the healing of my face. It was my heart finding the author of my story.